Thank you for calling the White House comment line. Hello, America. This is White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. Democrats in Congress have shut down the federal government because they care more about funding health care for illegal immigrants than they care about serving you, the American people. Until Democrats vote for the clean, Republican-backed continuing resolution to reopen the government, the White House is unable to answer your call or respond to your questions. We look forward to hearing from you again very soon. And in the meantime, please know President Trump will never stop fighting for you. Thank you, and God bless you.
What did he say?
If that is not the most craziest thing you have ever heard on a voicemail, why didn't they say the government is shut down? Why y'all trying to blame other people for a shutdown that you guys run? Like, you have the House, you have the Senate, you have the presidency. So you guys are in charge. This is on you. So why are you making it seem like someone else is responsible for the actions that you guys are taking? It's just crazy. But that's just my 2 cents. You can keep the change.
Get your together.
Do your jobs.
Get over yourselves and just sit down and find common ground.
We need to clean the swamp out.
I think we need our leaders to stand up and do what they're supposed to do for the people, not for their contributors or whatever.
We need to steer clear of the politics of this and basically keep things going.
Nothing's getting done the way it should be.
It just isn't a great look.
So this is not your first shutdown, but you spoke with my colleague, Shannon Pettypiece, and you said you had a lump in your throat as you left the NIH offices this week. Why this time did it feel different?
You know, I think this shutdown is just completely different from anything that we've seen in the past. Normally with a shutdown, I am really frustrated at the idea that we would stop the functioning of our government. But I haven't been able to do my job since January. I've had a front row seat as a federal worker to the destruction of our government. Every awful thing that happens during a shutdown, shuttering programs, tanking our economy, firing federal workers, all of this has been going on since January. And so when I left the office on Wednesday, it was with this pit in my stomach about the future of our country.
In the words that she is saying, everyone should kind of be scared because she's been through this before, as she says, and now we're going through it with her. So we'll see how this all plays out. Hopefully the shutdown is not for too long. There are a lot of people that are actually going to be suffering really bad from this. So we'll see what happens.
It is day 3 of the U.S. government shutdown. To be honest with you, there really hasn't been much of change, but this is where things stand. Republican leaders such as Mike Johnson and Senate Leader John Thune are saying that this is a Democrat shutdown, even though they hold the House and the Senate. They say the Democrats are playing this politics game because they refuse to fund a short-term funding bill. This would essentially keep the government the exact same way it is right now through November. Democrats are pushing back, such as the Minority Leader Jeffries saying Republicans are lying about the proposal and accusing Trump of hiding the crisis because he knows he caused it. And at the heart of all this, by the way, are those Obamacare subsidies, essentially the things that make you going to the doctors much cheaper. If you may remember, in the big, beautiful bill, they cut out a lot of those things, which means that if we don't reverse that, things will be expensive. It's not a question of could they will be expensive if those subsidies are not there. Remember that they cut a lot of these things so that other things could happen, such as tax breaks for the rich. Meanwhile, as all of this is going on, federal employees are, some of them, furloughed without pay. Other people are working without pay, which means that there's a lot of people that may not be able to pay their bills, especially because it was the beginning of the month when bills were due. On top of all of that happening, we're still seeing 2 major projects frozen. One in Chicago for $2.1 billion for an infrastructure deal, and another one in New York City. Comes back to those Obama subsidies. I have to tell you, it's actually, there's a decent amount of Republicans that also do want these subsidies to come back online, knowing that without them, it's going to hurt a lot of people that they represent. Bottom line is this: we have no deal yet, weekend votes are still uncertain, and for now, the government drags on closed through day 3.
Trump posted an AI video depicting himself and Russell Vought as the Grim Reaper going after Democrats. Here's the context behind this video. Late Thursday night, Trump posted an AI-generated video on Truth Social showing images of both himself and Director of the Office of Management and Budget, Russell Vought, dressed as the Grim Reaper over a parody of the Blue Oyster Cult song Don't Fear the Reaper, with altered lyrics about the government shutdown. The video, which was posted the same day that Trump announced he would meet with Vought to discuss which Democrat agencies to cut amid the shutdown, shows Grim Reaper Vought in front of the U.S. Capitol, walking near portraits of Democrats and inside agency offices. At one point, the video shows baby dolls dressed as Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, with Jeffries wearing a sombrero and a mustache, while the song lyrics say, "Dems, you babies, here comes the Reaper, gonna tie your hands." The video goes on to show Grim Reaper Vought waving at the camera while the song says, "Cry babies, end your plan," that cuts to clips of Democrats speaking on Capitol Hill. Trump wrote on Truth Social Thursday that he would take the government shutdown as an unprecedented opportunity to slash agencies aligned with Democratic ideals. Earlier this week, he wrote that Republicans must use this opportunity of Democrat forced closure to clear out dead wood, waste, and fraud. Just before posting the video, Trump shared a graphic with images of Democratic leaders, calling the Democratic Party the party of hate, evil, and Satan. Representative Hakeem Jeffries responded to the video on social media Friday, writing that Trump continues to hide behind deepfake videos. Meanwhile, Democrats are fighting to protect your health care. Trump's video comes as the White House continues to blame congressional Democrats for the government shutdown.
This is absolutely insane breaking news. Republican Speaker Mike Johnson just gave himself a paid vacation, shut down the entire House of Representatives, told them not to come back until the Senate works out the shutdown. He is saying, we are done with this. We're not going to handle this. He is also delaying the swearing in of Adelita Grijalva. That's the Congresswoman-elect from Arizona, who at this point would be the 218th vote on the Epstein discharge petition. As you can see here, this tweet from the House Press Gallery notes that the chair announced the Speaker's designation of Tuesday, October 7th through Monday, October 13th as a district work period. That means that members of the House of Representatives will not be in D.C. during this period, and the earliest that they will be back to vote is likely the middle of the month. Johnson had initially said that he was going to allow the swearing of Adelita Grijalva next week, and now that is in limbo. It is delayed. They are delaying it probably because they don't want her to vote on that Epstein discharge petition. It must be really nice for these members of Congress to get paid while the government is shut down, but I think the American people see exactly what is going on.
Yo, I don't understand how this is even possible, but dudes is getting vacations while the government is shut down. They're still getting paid. They still get their medical benefits as a person of the government working for the government. So they get all the perks and none of the headache. It's crazy, but this is what it is.
It's difficult to do that with a guy who was more interested in playing golf over the weekend.
Do you think Democrats should
I'll continue. Not only he played golf all the weekend after canceling a meeting with Senate Democrats. The President of the United States canceled a meeting with the leaders in the Senate and in the House of Representatives, and then felt it was more important, hours before a shutdown, to play golf. And then, rather than having a serious meeting, decided to troll those leaders with a Trump 2028 hat that he put on the Resolute desk and sent out a tweet after he sent out an AI video doctored with a racist video of Speaker Jeffries in a sombrero. These are not serious people.
Of course, we don't want to lose our paychecks, but it doesn't just affect us, right? This affects everyone. Part of my job is investigating illegal firings. And so all of those people who've been illegally fired and have turned to the government for help, they're also waiting. Trump is threatening to close our agencies, to lay off mass amounts of federal workers, which is totally different than any other shutdown. It's always been temporary. We go back to work. We go back to providing the same services. Here, he's saying that he wants to end that.
This isn't the first shutdown that I have been through as a federal worker or a contractor to the federal government. I've never been conflicted about it. I've always felt, obviously, fund the government, this is silly. But this time is just so different because the greater shutdown was already happening. Our jobs in the federal government have been under threat. It's just so much bigger. What we're dealing with is just so much bigger than my job. Threatening to fire us is a bullying tactic. That's what it is, plain and simple.
You know, will I ever have a job to go back to is a concern that a lot of employees are facing right now. But what we're also seeing is that there's a lot of resolve this time where, it's different because we see what's at stake. We want to make sure that we have agencies to go back to, and it can't go back to the status quo because we need to have the actual funding to be able to complete our mission to continue to serve the American people.
Yeah, I'm in my pajamas because when you are trying to slow the misinformation machine, there's no time to get dressed. I'm here because, again, the White House is claiming that Democrats have shut down the government because they want undocumented immigrants to get health care from the federal government.
We'll probably have a shutdown because one of the things they want to do is they want to give incredible Medicare, the Cadillac Medicare, to illegal immigrants.
The far left faction of Senate Democrats shut down the government because we wouldn't give them hundreds of billions of dollars for health care benefits for illegal aliens.
They have made a decision that they would rather give taxpayer-funded benefits to illegal aliens than to keep the doors open for the American people.
So they're repeating themselves. I will repeat myself. Undocumented immigrants cannot sign up for Affordable Care Act coverage, and they are not eligible for Medicaid coverage. Federal law actually prevents undocumented immigrants from getting any health care subsidies. Now, there are a small number of legal immigrants, people we know are here legally. They do qualify. But these Republican cuts would also threaten the coverage for millions of American citizens, and Democrats want those rolled back. That is the sticking point in these shutdown negotiations. And if right now you're going, but wait, what about emergency rooms? What happens in emergency rooms? Emergency Medicaid reimburses hospitals for care to undocumented immigrants. Do you know why? Because by law, hospitals cannot turn away anyone in an emergency. And it wasn't the Democrats that pushed that through or some sneaky thing during the Biden administration. That was signed into law in 1986 by the president whose name was Ronald Reagan. I thought you should know.
I mean, how crazy can you be, man? It just doesn't seem like this is right whatsoever. And he's only aiming at Democrats. So basically blaming one party. Only one party is getting abused. Only one party is getting praised. So it's like, it's not about parties, man. It's about people. And that's what I don't understand is why we're not doing this for people, not parties.
You have no idea what's going on with the shutdown. These are the only two things you need to know. The Democrats refuse to sign a budget bill that will cause us to lose a ton of health care. They're not asking for more. They're just saying to the Republicans, hey, can we keep what we have? And if we lose it, a lot of people are going to pay double for their health care. And the Republicans refused to negotiate, so government got shut down. The second thing is that you're going to hear this lie that the Democrats want to give health care to the illegals. And I hate to tell you, but undocumented people can't get health care. You're literally just being lied to. That's all you need to know. Tell a friend.
It was Ronald Reagan who signed the law saying that if somebody shows up to the hospital and they're in dire straits, you can't just turn them away whether they have insurance or not, right? So, I mean,
That's
we're
exactly
the fallout of American decency here.
And listen to how Trump is trying to run during this shutdown. Listen to his threats. If the Democrats don't give in, I'm going to fire a whole bunch more federal workers. An American president saying, if the Democrats don't give in, I'm going to hurt a whole lot more Americans. I'm going to destroy the economic lives of tens of thousands of our fellow citizens, public servants, not because they're doing a bad job, not because they're doing a job we don't need, but just out of spite. And because he thinks that kind of hostage taking is going to persuade the Democrats to cave in. It's an ugliness and a disregard for how we're supposed to be the folks who at least have some basic notions of treating each other with decency and with care. And boy, not Donald Trump. And here's the thing. All those Republicans in the Senate and in the House, they're just bending the knee to Donald Trump and saying whatever you want.
The government shutdown was just a couple of days ago, but yesterday, October 2nd, I got this letter talking about how my monthly premiums are going to go up for my health insurance. They obviously sent this out before the shutdown even took place in order for me to get it yesterday. So look at this. 2025 monthly payment is $218. They broke it down for me though. Thank you. Here's the math, bitch. Monthly premium of $627 minus $409 of financial help you get each month. That's the Affordable Care Act going away. So $627 is right now Starting in January, it's going to be $727. So not only did they take away the 409, they increased this motherfucker by $100 a month. What the fuck?
They are absolutely correct, you guys. And right here is a little side-by-side comparison because, you know, MAGA, they love to look at charts and they need something, some sort of picture so that they can really understand things. So this is with the Affordable Cares Act. This is without the Affordable Cares Act. And this is what the Democratic Party was trying to stop before this whole government shutdown, because the Republican Party wants to remove the Affordable Cares Act. That's what they want to do. It's not about undocumented migrants getting health care. It is not about that. It is about the lower class and middle class citizens here in the United States of America that can afford health insurance, plain and simple. And here's the other thing, you guys. The job market, the economy, since Donald Trump has taken office, it is the worst economy since peak COVID time. The worst economy. The job market, non-existent. Every single month when they end up releasing the jobs report, guess what? They're not adding new jobs. They're taking away jobs here in America. That is what they are doing. And for those that aren't from America, you guys have to understand this also. A simple hospital visit for someone, if they don't have health insurance, let's say they go to the hospital, they have to go to the emergency room and they're sick and they need urgent care right then and there. A simple visit can literally cost the American person thousands, if not tens of thousands, just going to the hospital. And I know you're thinking, well, just don't pay the bill. Well, here in America, guess what? If you have a job, they will garnish your wages. So now you're making even less money on your paycheck because you ended up having an emergency visit to the hospital. Also, here in America, if you don't have health insurance, and let's say you get taken by an ambulance and everything, let's say you need an ambulance and you call, you're like, yo, I need someone, you know, that right there could be tens of thousands of dollars as well. Let me know your thoughts in your comments over this way, because that is what the Democratic Party is trying to stop with this whole government shutdown. Thanks, you guys.
It is bananas that you would spend more than double on your insurance just because of what the Republicans have put in place. So it went from $307 to $964. That is ridiculous. And this is what we're about to head into. And everybody's just sitting back and watching, eating their popcorn and saying, yeah, the Republicans are doing great. That's just my 2 cents. You can keep the change.